Hi everyone, welcome back, and today what I'm going to be talking about is my transition a year on coming out, basically. Yeah. So, what I've... a year. It's been a year. Like, it's mental to me to think that 2019 has gone so quickly, and since the 12th of June last year, it's like it's been a year that I've come out as trans. Yeah, anyone that knows me like personally will know that like I didn't just like come out last year. Like that was, I guess, like the final not statement, but it was like, is something that I've just thought about for quite a long time and just came to the decision because in like subconsciously I was socially transitioning since I left secondary school in 2017. So I started growing my hair out and stuff like that, and like wearing more feminine clothes, but not kind of saying anything about it, just kind of like being like, oh yeah, this is me, that's about it. And that's what I did for like 2 or 3 years, well 2 years, and then I came out last year, and it was, I'd always questioned my gender, because I just, it just wasn't right. Like, it wasn't wrong, but it just wasn't right, for me anyway. And how I went about it was very slow, with like the conversations that I had with my parents and stuff like that. And like, because I technically came out in 2014, I want to say, and basically before knowing all the knowledge that I know now, I basically was like, I want to be a girl. In like year 8, year 9, I was like, I want to be a girl. That's kind of it. I don't know how else to express it at a 13-year-old. I wouldn't, like, personally, I don't really like connect with the idea of trapped in the wrong body or like born in the wrong body. I just feel like it's just a journey that I'm gonna have to take for me to feel and look how I want to feel and look, and how I look as I feel, if that makes any sense. And yeah, so I expressed that to my parents, and they were like, okay, we hear you, we understand you. We're not, I mean, like, they're not very well versed, probably as much as I am now, than they were back then. And they were just like, okay, just give it a couple of years, see what happens. It wasn't so much a thing saying, oh, it's a phase. It wasn't that at all. It was them saying, okay, we understand you, we hear you, but let's not do anything right now, because it's not affecting, like, subsequently your life. And it's not, like, me and my dad have had multiple conversations about, in, not argument, but a conversation about like life-threatening and life-saving, and those sort of chats about surgery and things that doctors can do with a patient, in regards to, I don't know, like a car crash, or like, I don't know, gender reassignment surgery, for example. And for me, it wasn't life-threatening and it wasn't life-saving. So for me to not come out, but like, I just needed to understand where I was coming from and figure it out, not by myself, but for myself. to, like, not solidify the fact, but it was just to kind of gain some more knowledge on it and to understand it a little bit more before I make the decision to transition. So a lot of people think that it's a decision to be trans, and it's not. The decision is whether you come out or not. That is, like, if you want to put a decision element in there, that is the decision that is being made, whether you come out and either live your truth or you just live and just, like, do it in a very heteronormative like, way. And if you are cis-het, which is like cisgendered and heterosexual, then that's fine, you can live your life. But, like, for people who are trans, it's more difficult to comprehend it, and it's more difficult for the judgment of others to affect them. No, that wasn't right. But I've come to a place that not that I don't care, but it doesn't affect me what other people think of me. So if someone was just like, oh yeah, you're ugly, I'll be like, okay, cool, thanks for your opinion that I didn't ask for. And if I did ask for it, then thanks for your opinion that I did ask for. Like, that's just how it is. And yeah, so I came out as gay, living as guy, attracted to guy, yeah. I came out as, like, attracted to guys quite young. I always knew that I was attracted to men, regardless of, like, always. It was just not, it wasn't a wavering factor. And there was a stint in early 2012, late 2012, early 2013, that I did think I liked a girl, but I didn't. I just wanted to be her friend. I wanted to not be her, but, like, I idolised her because she was popular, she was pretty. What wouldn't you want out of that? In, like, yeah, okay, who wouldn't want that? But yeah, so, yeah, I came out, I've always been attracted to guys, I've always been effeminate. Like, ask anyone that has known me a long time, I've always been effeminate, regardless whether it's been at 1 years old. I mean, I don't really know about 1 years old, but one memory that really sticks into me is that me and a couple of classmates had a massive row and physical fight over a Tinkerbell dress. And dress up was my favourite game. I loved being a princess, basically, and that was my childhood dream, to be a princess. And when I came out last year, that was my dream coming true. I was a princess, not in, like, Disney's eyes, but in my own eyes, because I feel like a princess, like, in the least cheesy way possible. But it's like, it's one of those things that you say it without knowing its entire meaning, and then you say it, like, I don't know, a few years down the line, you're like, oh, so it didn't mean that I wanted to be a physical princess. It meant that I maybe wanted to be an element of a princess. And for me, one of my childhood heroes was Cinderella, because of the morals she stood for how how relatable she was to me. And, like, she was kind-hearted, she was good, and when I do have money, I would love to get a tattoo saying have courage and be kind, because that is kind of my moral message to other people. Like, have courage in yourself, have courage in the things you do, but be kind with that. Don't go around saying nasty things. Like, there's no point being nasty and stuff, and if you're wrong, admit you're wrong. But yeah, back to my transition. But like, the way I would describe it for myself is that has been a transition from when I was younger. It's just my life. My life is not very like a stereotypical life of I get born. My goodness. I'm born, I go to school. Yes, that's exactly the same, but throughout my teenage years, I have to discover that I am not a boy. And that is it. Like, there's nothing more, there's nothing less. I'm just not a boy. Yes, I have male genitals, but scientifically, I mean, I'm not even going to get into science because I'm not educated enough on the science of, like, being trans, but, like, I'm confident where I stand today. I'm the most confident that I've ever been. I remember several years ago, and that might just be because I was younger. It could have a lot of other factors, but I used to walk down the street always thinking about what other people thought of me, always looking at myself and going, oh, I look really camp and stuff, and like, and I always remember when I used to play dress up, and I used to do it every single day, but it was in my head. It was, oh yeah, I'd be wearing a really flowy dress today, or I'd be wearing, some jeans and a nice little crop top, or something like that. It wasn't, what was in my head did not reflect how I was dressing. It wasn't the, green oversized Hollister top that I wore, and like blue skinny jeans with trainers. No, that's not what I wanted to wear. It's what I wore because I didn't know any different. But with what's going on in the world, there is now a uproar. There is an uproar of inequality, and it's amazing that things are finally being brought to light, but with power, and that now it's not just words, it's actions, and the things that have been said are actually possibly getting done now. That's the difference, is that before it was just words and people's anger and frustration and the inequality of how life is. And now it's getting changed because of the people. Because of the people who are getting heard now. And it's amazing to see so much diversity in the world now, and that it's astonishing that this is the year, 2020 is the year for the textbooks. Let's not just be like, oh yeah, let's just, wipe away 2020, that didn't really count because we didn't really do anything. No, there was a pandemic, there was a Black Lives Matter movement. We are in Pride Month, doing Black Lives Matter. There was Martha P. Johnson, who was, acclaimed to be the first brick thrower at Stonewall. I'm in the LGBT community, there is so much, inside homophobia and inside transphobia and just prejudice within the community as it is. And as much as, things can't be helped. And that's not down to me to change. That's for me to help adapt things. I, as a one person, cannot change anything by myself. But with the power of the voices, we can all be heard. And that's what's really good about what's happening at the moment, is that most people's voices are getting heard, and the people that aren't getting heard will have a chance to get heard in the future, hopefully. But yeah, so social lesson of the day over. So what else is happening is, it is Pride Month. It was all a bit of a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. But I came out today, this time last year, in Pride Month. I dressed myself in what I didn't know was the trans pride colours, which is pink, white and blue. And now a year on, I think this is correct for me. Like, I'm comfortable in myself. I love myself. That is the most important thing, is that for me to love myself is the be-all and end-all, basically. If I don't love myself, I need to not change it, but adapt it, and to see how things can adapt the things that I can change, but don't change myself for other people. That is the goal, basically, is to always keep adapting, keep changing, and not to rely on others to not point out, like, you know, to, like, tell you to change. Like, there might be one aspect of your character that's a lot of people might disagree on, but if you think it's doing the world of good, then good. But listen to other people's criticisms, but don't take them to heart. But yeah, so in the last year, a lot has gone on. I've gone to university, I've left college, I turned 18, and what I kind of want to speak about now is, like, the social aspect of being a woman, being a trans woman, being a passing trans woman on, like, 90% of the time, because there are days that, you know, people do go, oh, you're a man. I'm like, no, I'm not. I just look like a man. And there are days that, you know, I look amazing, and I look exactly like a woman, or how a woman should be in the view of the world and the stereotype and stuff. Like, so I kind of want to share my experiences on, like, clubbing, university, dating, and also transphobia, because I don't know whether to be pleased or not pleased, but I've not experienced a lot of transphobia, which is amazing, like, for me anyway. But for the people who are experiencing that, I empathise with you, and I know how hard it can be, and that negative energy is just not welcome here. Not welcome here at all. So yeah, so university. Well, firstly, leaving college. Leaving college is probably the best thing that I could have done. I was doing a musical theatre course. It was amazing. I loved it. But it just wasn't quite right for me. Like, I love singing, I love dancing, I love acting, but is that the academic route that I wanted to go down? No, it wasn't. I just wanted to keep it as a hobby. And so so I was at college from 2017 to 2019, where I left in March, because, well, March, April sort of time. So I hadn't come out then. I was just looking very feminine, and that was literally it. Because going to a theatre school near Brighton, it's pretty fine, you know, pretty fine on all the acceptance, and yeah, so that, I mean, I kind of felt uncomfortable during my time there because I had my solid group of friends, but they weren't in my course, and that's just how it is, really. And like, I knew one other trans woman in real life, in real life, and then I knew kind of like, not the celebrities, but like, I knew from not an early age, but like from a younger age, about Gigi Gorgeous, and then Caitlyn Jenner popped up in the news, and oh, what's her face? The politician, I want to say, the person that was on Big Brother. Yeah, Big Brother. The like Year of the Woman, a couple of years ago. India. I can't remember her surname, but like it's India. She's like a British person. I don't know. But yeah, and then I got into Drag Race, and it was amazing. And then like Courtney Act and Peppermint, or Courtney Act is actually non-binary, I think. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah. And it was just really inspiring to see people like me, but I couldn't relate to them because they weren't, like, some weren't British, some weren't young, some didn't really pass, some passed really well. Some, I mean, Gigi Gorgeous, she had a YouTube channel from such a not young age, but like from my age, it was really young, and like I watched her before she transitioned. I don't really watch her anymore. I haven't watched her for a good few years, just because she's just not really on my radar, and that's fine. Like, I don't hate her, but you know, but yeah, so I left college. I then went to university in September of last year, and I met the lovely friends that I know now, and still don't know any more trans women. I know trans men. I know loads of trans men, actually, that it's quite, I don't know whether it's odd or not that I'm friends with more trans men than I am trans women. I really don't know. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, really. I've got loads of really close trans guy friends, but I've not really got any trans girlfriends, so if anyone knows anyone, that would be great. And yeah, I'm just really... So I went to uni, first year of uni, at 18, no gap year, no nothing. I rang up the university as soon as I came out as trans, because I'd done everything in like male prefixes, stuff like that. I've kept my birth name for the moment. I don't know whether I'm changing it or not. I'm maybe having a little think about it, but time will tell. And yeah, so I rang them up and I was like, hi, just to let you know, I'm, with my little phone, I'm now like transitioning. Is there anything that you can do? And they were like, oh yeah, there's, because I go to Southampton Solent University, there is a charity called Chrysalis, if anyone's heard of it. It's a, like, I don't know the actual, like, terminology, about it, but it's like a trans inclusionary group that kind of helps with people who are trans, like maybe just having a chat, or I don't know the service that they do or anything, because I actually haven't checked them out yet. I was just kind of like living just basically just vibing. I can't make it like another word that correlates to it, but I was just vibing, you know. And what happened was, yeah, there was all of these things. I went to the doctors for multiple reasons, because my health at the beginning of first year wasn't great. It was nothing to do with being trans. It was just I've got a long-standing condition, and it flared up at the beginning of uni, and I ended up in hospital for a week during Freshers Week, so that was fun. And I'll do a story time maybe later, actually, if you wanted to hear it, which I'll probably do anyway, because I've got 5 people watching right now. And yeah, so I ended up in hospital, so I had to get signed with the doctors immediately, because I literally just walked in on the first day of uni to A&E, and I was like, hi, I'm dying, help, please. And yeah, so yeah, I had to go to the doctors, and I am now on the NHS waiting list as of October of last year for the gender clinic in London, for Tavistock, and the waiting list for the NHS is, I mean, I don't know now because of coronavirus, but possibly about 2 or 3 years now. It used to be a year and a half. Now I guess it's gone up to like 2.5 years because of all the like backlogs and stuff like that. And there just isn't enough funding, and there isn't enough workers. But there's like not too many patients, but there's too many patients for the workers, which is really upsetting. But you know, there are private organisations that I could go with when I have the money. I do not have the money at the moment, by any means, and I'm not pushing it, if that makes sense. I'm not pushing me medically transitioning at the moment, because I am comfortable and I am healthy right now. That's what it means for me to transition right now, is that I'm comfortable, I'm healthy, and at this current moment in time, I don't feel like it is an urgency for me to go into medical intervention quite yet. But there is that option, which is good. I wanted to implement it now, see where it takes me in 2, 3, 4 years maybe, depending whatever happens. And yeah, and that's what, one sec, I'm just checking how long I've got. Cool, I've been on live half an hour so far. And everything will be, all of this video will be staying on my IGTV, as well as my YouTube channel if I ever get round to editing it. Or I might just put it up as it is. So yeah. So I did that, and it was a big step for me, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it didn't feel like a big step. It just felt like, because I went into my doctors, I was like, hi, I'm trans, lol. Amongst other things, amongst my like physical health and my mental health and stuff. And what happened was, she signed me up for me. That's an option that you can do, is you can go into your GP and you can ask them to sign you up for gender clinic. And that is, I mean, I don't know how to do it. I don't know if you can do it via yourself, like, I don't know, but yeah, so that's how I did it anyway, via my doctor, my GP in Southampton, excuse me. But yeah, so going on to university, everyone was really accepting. Well, actually, it wasn't anything really. It was just another thing that just happened. And when I signed up for my accommodation, I wasn't out as trans, so it was a couple of months prior to coming out. I put my like prefix as male and stuff like that, and I didn't, because how our halls worked was that it was like, I guess unintentional, a little bit intentional, but it was basically me and then 5 boys and then 5 girls within our like flat, but our flat wasn't divided into flats. It was just one continuous circle around the building. So I was in like O1, and then it was O2, O3, O4, O5, I think, were all guys. And then it was 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11 and 12 that were all female. So I was like, not separated, but I was like separated from all the girls. But saying that, my 2 next door neighbours, Zach and Chris, I'm going to name you. You are absolute angels and I love you so much. And I'm going to miss you when I don't see you next year, Zach, anyway. People have been cool about it. It wasn't even an issue that was presented at all, which was brilliant. Because I didn't want it to be a thing. Like, in one sense or another, I didn't want it to be a thing, but I wanted people to learn and understand and see that I'm just an average person. Like, and that was it. I'm just an average person who is going to an average uni, who is doing a makeup course. Oh yeah, back to university. I'm studying makeup and hair design, hence the like conversation earlier about college and how that developed. But relatively mature mindset. And, you know, everyone can be childish. That's just how it is. And, I mean, I feel like I'm playful. That's what I like to say. I'm playful. But, I feel like I'm very emotionally adult? No, that's not how you say it. What's it called? Emotionally mature. There we go. I'm emotionally mature and I can handle things relatively well. You know, not everyone can handle everything. But, and yeah, like, Zach is 23, I think. I can't really remember. And then Chris was 19. Like, near enough everyone was older than me. It was not great, but it was just one of those things. Shush! Oh, that really made me jump. And and that's it really. That and my uni experience hasn't differed from anyone else's because I'm trans. Like, at all. If anything, it's just been just a normal thing. If anything, it was it was the first week that I was in hospital that I literally missed out on meeting most of the people that was on my course and stuff. Like, I now know people through other people, not because of like Freshers Week and stuff, and your friendship groups will change. And the people that you meet on the Facebook group will be possibly the same people that you are friends with throughout the whole of uni. It might be people that you meet on Freshers Week that you're friends with the whole of uni, but then they might not be. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. So, clubbing. So I went out for my 18th, absolute steaming drunk already. And whether, you know. But what are you going to do? If you're going to kiss someone once, why would you give them your life story? Like, a kiss is a kiss. If I go home with them, that's a different scenario. But personally, I wouldn't go home with anyone from a club because I wouldn't feel comfortable. Because I would need that, like, it's not validation, it's confirmation that they are comfortable. Because I know I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with getting with, like, any type of guy, whether it's gay, straight, bi. I'm fine with that. Or, like, pan or anything like that. I'm fine because there are some gay guys that are interested in transgender women. There are some straight guys that are interested in transgender women. But personally, I would prefer, like, dating a bisexual or pan person, because then it gives me the peace of mind that I'm will unmatch me because of it. And that is fine. That is their situation to deal with. Because I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And that is completely fine with me. But it's, for example, like me saying, oh yeah, I'm not, I don't know, attracted to people with blonde hair, for example. That's not the case. But, so I would unmatch people with blonde hair if I, like, you know, accidentally match one with a person with blonde hair. I know it's a little bit different when, you know, they got different parts down there and they weren't quite expecting it. But, you know, it's just playing the game, really. Because that's all it is just literally just vibing. See what kind of people you like, see what people like you, and I feel like being trans is so much harder than being cis, definitely, without doubt, because there's so much adversity without even knowing it. Like, on Tinder, I've had very mean comments made about me for no reason. Like, it wasn't like I was going, oh yeah, you're a stupid white boy, or you're a cis dickhead or something. I'm literally just like, I always message people first because I do not have the time of day to be having 99 matches and 0 conversations. If you want to chat to me, you want to chat to me. If you don't, then you don't. Unmatch me. But I'm always going to put the effort in. Because why would you expect someone else to put the effort in when, you know, there's that uncertainty? I literally would be like, no, hi. Doesn't affect me, does it? If they want to have a conversation with me, that's fine. If they don't, then, you know, they're lost. Look at me. But yeah, so so the when I say social experiment, I don't mean it like quite literally, but it's just thinking how other people would view me, but making it not affect myself. If that makes sense. So what I would do is I would change my bio, I'd change my pictures, possibly even make a new account, which I've got like 6 accounts at this point, most of them deactivated. But so what I would do is I would put it into a different kind of language. So I would be I would say, oh yeah, I'm trans. I'm transgender in all capitals. Or I've got a dick, lol. Like, just making a joke of it because, like, as much as it is, like, you know, a serious topic during a relationship, I'm very comfortable with my body, how it is. Like, I don't think I could be more comfortable with, like, peeing in front of people, like, not in the street, but, like, with friends and stuff in toilets, but because it's just that mutual, not understanding, but it's just that mutual comfortableness, and that I do have with people, and I'm pretty chill with that, and I'm pretty chill with my body and how it looks and what it is. Like, yes, I do have down days, and I do have days that I'm like, oh, I do look a bit fat, or, oh, you know, I wish I had, like, a six-pack, or, oh, I do wish I had boobs, like, that. The boobs especially is part of my dysphoria, and that's, I don't let it affect me, because it should affect me, but it, like, in a positive way. It is a goal, and not a jealousy, if that makes sense. So yeah, dating, whew, I've been on my fair few amount of dates while being at university, and not all have been pretty. But yeah, so there's been a couple of, like, cis straight guys that I've gone on dates with, and it's been nice, and it was nice for that time, and it was nice to kind of share an experience with them. It was nice. I also dated someone who was pansexual. That was, like, nice. I mean, I didn't particularly find them, it just didn't work out, let's just say that. And I mean, I'm single now, just saying. Yeah, and then I was seeing someone casually for a couple of months over winter, during January to about March, until that lockdown really, and then we were just like, lol. But and that's that really. And it's just, I've had very varied responses. I've had, oh yeah, like, can I find out more? Like, this is on Tinder, that people are messaging me on, like, can I find out more? Can I, like, educate myself? Not in those words, of course. It's more like, so you have a dick? I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm not so much ashamed of it. I'm just, adapting it to how I want to be presented.